Hey, Stan here in the workshop once again, continuing with my Sky Ranger 40 build. I've gotten a little ahead of myself with the build and a little bit behind in the video making. I got the fuselage, as you can see here, and it's pretty much together. I meant to show you when you build the half, you lay this thing on its side and you build this bottom half by adding all the pieces. Glue them on, glue them on, glue them on. And then you finally add this top layer, which I did yesterday. I meant to do a video before I added the other side to it. Then you have to put in these braces. These braces here, these are light ply. This F7 and F8, these are all plywood, or balsa wood. This is balsa wood. So I noticed when I put them in, they're pretty flimsy, and I put the clamps on them. And some of them, this one back here, actually cracked, this one here. So I've gone back and taken some scraps. That's because the grain, the way the grain goes, the grain breaks real easy. So I went back, took some of this plywood scraps that you invariably end up with, and I put them across this way, across here, put some bracing in there. Additionally, the plans call for putting some braces in optional braces on these members here. So, but if you wait till I believe it's step 80 in the plans. If you wait till step 80, it's going to be, the thing is going to be completely assembled. It's going to be very hard to get these braces in. So I went ahead before I glued the halves together and I put some braces in. Now they don't meet perfectly like I might like to have a perfect miter joint where they meet the sides, but they'll do. So there's the fuselage. It's pretty much together. I got a deal from a buddy at the field on a E-Flite Power 32 motor. This is a pretty stout motor, according to Terry Dunn, who's built one of these. This is plenty of power for this airplane. So you have to laminate. I had some problem with this. You have to laminate the back together. One piece glues onto the other, and then you, of course, put them on the front. They also have a little notch here that has to go in here. Well, I had to lay out the mounting bolts, the mounting holes for the airplane. These here. So to lay these out, this is not. If this was a perfect square, you could just draw an X on there, and where the lines cross, that would be the center. But this is not a perfect square, so you have to take your time, lay it out. And additionally, the back of the motor is not flush. This is the bearing on the motor in the back, so you have to drill a hole in the center. And additionally, you have to drill some ventilation holes in the front, and you have to drill a hole to let the wires go through. So this gave me fits last night trying to get this together. And I figured out when I did it, the motor is mounted just about 1/8 of an inch too low. I should have been 1/8 of an inch higher, because on the back, you can see these T-nuts on the back, which I love to use T-nuts because they're flush. But these T-nuts were right here, down here where this says F2. This has to go on to the front of the fuselage. So I said, what am I going to do now? So I keep scratching my head, and I said, well, why don't you countersink where the T-nuts go? Countersink these down in the plywood. So I did that, and I think this is going to fit on here just about perfect. Of course, I'll take the motor off when I do it, but this is going to mount up. You have to stretch this a little bit once you glue it up. And I, quite frankly, have been reverted to my old school woodworking ways and have been using Elmer's or Titebond 2 to put this stuff together, not epoxy or not CA. So if you put that on, the plans do say that the motor, this is offset, so that the thrust angle on the motor will be automatically built into the plants. So that's going to fit on there. But right down in the center, you can probably see where these T-nuts down here, they're not quite flush. I didn't get them sunk quite enough, but you can't sink them very much. This is only 1/4 inch thick. So what I'll do, I'll just come in here with a Dremel tool, and I'll carve out a little U-shaped thing here and here, and I'll put it together, and she'll be just fine. I'm going to put epoxy. You could put corner braces down in here. They don't give them to you, but I'd recommend either corner brace or corner brace. But what I'll probably do, I've had good luck, like you can see on the back of this T-nut, I just put epoxy. I use Bob Smith 10-minute epoxy. Just put that in there, and it's about as strong as you're going to get. So there's the fuselage. Got the motor ready to go on. Next thing the plans call for is working on the tail. Working back here. Put this weight on here to hold her down. Good old shot bag. Got to come back here. This has to go on. This is for the vertical stabilizer. Goes down in there. This has to be all flush mounted. And I got something in the mail today. I got a couple. You can never have too many clamps. I'm an old woodworker, so that's the rule of woodworkers. You can never have too many clamps. These things, these are the mini Irwin clips. Look at this. This is probably 20 years old. I paid $7.50 for that 20 years ago, and of course I thought I was getting ripped off, but I bought 1, 2, I thought I had 4 of them. I only seem to have 3. I can't believe it. If I lost one, if you're like me, it just kills you. No matter what, to lose a tool or misplace a tool just drives me nuts forever. So maybe I only bought 3. But anyway, they've been invaluable on this project. And they have a 4.5 inch, if you can see that or not, but that's 4.5 inch opening on that little clamp. So I just got these today, and they're a little interesting. The back end is bent. You can see that or not against it. This is bent, but I think that's simply to keep you from popping this thing off the end, because you can, at least the old ones, you can turn this head around and turn this head around, and you can use them to spread things apart as well as clamp things together. But good old Irwin quick grip. It doesn't say quick grip on there anymore, but the old one, the original one, was a quick grip number 53006. So well worth the money. I got 2 more, so I'm in good shape. So that's how she's going. I'm actually at the point where there are no more punch outs. These plywood light ply punch outs, they look like this. I don't have any more of these to do. So I got plenty of scrap light ply, no more punch outs. I punched them all out. I haven't used them yet, but the next thing I'll put this on, build up the back, and then whoops, better leave that on. I got the motor on there. So next thing you do is start laying the stringers. The stringers go from here all the way down. They have balsa wood stringers, but I'm going to go with Terry Dunn's suggestion. He put on this front, on the part that you take off, he put basswood strips. And I bought some basswood strips at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to do the same thing he did. So, and Terry, if you're listening or can see this video, I appreciate your tips. I've looked at your video, but this back end here, where you hook up the tail wheel, the rudder assembly, if you could send me some more detailed photographs and a little detailed explanation of how you made that connection for the rudder, I would sure appreciate it. This is I see your picture, but I don't know where you get that fitting. You got something there that that really looks pretty slick. So Terry Dunn, if you see this, if you could you can send me a little message, and I'll send you my personal email if you want. But let me know how you did this, the rudder connection. So other than that, she's going good. We're getting a lot of snow here tonight in East Coast here in Virginia, so I imagine tomorrow is going to be a good day to stay inside and continue building. So I hope if you're working on a building project, I hope it's going well. And that's all for now. Be safe.